what next for the rupee? I'm joined now by Madan Sabnavis, Chief Economist of the Bank of Baroda, and Siddhartha Sanyal, Chief Economist and Head Research at Bandhan Bank. Welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for speaking with us this evening. Madan, how far post 80? And a lot of people so far have been saying that don't look at it in terms of numbers. Rupee at 80 is no different really from rupee at 79 or 78 or 81. But why does this psychological barrier matter?
I think it does matter for the market because the market always looks at the rupee in terms of full numbers. So I think 80 looks a bit exciting, and that's why everybody gets spooked up about it. Now, we should remember that the way in which the rupee has been depreciating is commensurate with the dollar strengthening. So the question is that how long will the dollar strengthen? To my mind, I think given the fact that the Federal Reserve is trying to increase interest rates to curb inflation, to slow down the excess demand forces, which means that you're slowing down the economy, when the strength of the US economy, the perceived strength of the US economy comes down, I think that's the point of time when there will be some correction. So logically, it means that from 80, we can go towards 81. Now, how fast we go will actually depend upon how the RBI looks at it. I think the RBI is trying to ensure that the rate of depreciation in India is just about at the median level of all other comparable currencies, so that we don't lose our export competitiveness, and at the same time, we don't go galloping in the downward direction.
Saying that from 80 to 81, how fast does it go is the question. Siddhartha Sanyal, should there be an intervention right now? We know, and it's widely reported that the RBI has been helping out the rupee, spending dollars. There are some who think this is really not the right way. India should not expend its foreign currency on trying to rescue the rupee per se. What is your view on this debate?
No, I think the RBI had been extremely tactful in intervening and providing some support to the domestic currency in recent months. It's not the case that they have only sold foreign exchange reserve to support the currency. They have intervened very judiciously in the NDF market occasionally. They have brought in some additional regulatory support, like the rupee settlement of some trade transactions. All these things have also supported rupee. So as a result, you can see that over the course of the last maybe, if I take about 5-6 months, I'm taking the period roughly from the start of the Russia-Ukraine war, the strengthening of dollar index per se, the DXY, had been significantly more than what had been the weakening of rupee per se against US dollar. So basically what has been the case at this moment, that rupee definitely hasn't underperformed compared to most other currencies. In fact, the weakness in rupee compared to most other trading partners of dollar had been less. So it will not be fair to say that RBI has only been spending foreign exchange reserves. It is actually bringing in a very judicious and intelligent policy mix of supporting rupee from various different angles rather than spending only the hard-earned reserve.
And how far do you think the rupee will go? I mean, there are varying estimates, but will the sort of pace of weakness accelerate after that 80 mark has been breached?
Is it for me? Sorry.
Yes, Mr. Sanyal.
Okay, I think the way Madan summarized it, he did a fantastic job in the beginning. My sense is that in the last few months, dollar had been getting a lot of prominence, a lot of strength in the global economy, but and very clearly there is at least one more large hike in store in the next few days from the Fed. So on an immediate basis, there is some more immediate tightening might be possible, but basically here comes a point in time where the incremental tightening from the Fed will start looking a little less aggressive at some point of time. Number two, the commodity prices in some pockets seem to be changing direction in some way or other. So overall, my sense is that the galloping of rupee depreciation is will possibly slow down from here rather than aggravate from this point onwards.
Do you agree with that, Madan, that we are going to now not see an aggravation of the slowdown, but we'll see a pullback? Factors like commodity prices softening to some extent are truly heartening?
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be one of the factors which is going to ensure that the kind of acceleration which we have seen in the depreciation will probably slow down. And in fact, we have seen, if you go back towards the beginning of the calendar year, I think we've been losing around 1 rupee per month. So today, I think this month of July is the time when it's come to close to 2 rupees. Otherwise, it's been almost 1 rupee a month. So one would have logically felt that we'd have touched the mark of 80 in August, but it's happened in July, probably because I think every time the Federal Reserve meets or is going to meet, I think there is a sense of panic in the market. And we've seen that the rupee actually going down at a faster rate. So it'll all be a case of how controlled, in what controlled manner RBI actually manages it through intervention.
Tracking that story of the rupee. Meanwhile, the impact on the average Indian continues to be that it may bolster prices to some extent. And of course, if you're going abroad to study or to travel, it's going to pinch you further. Thank you so much, Madan and Siddharth, for joining us today on the show.